In this lecture, we are going to generate tests with GitHub Copilot. More specifically, let's look at what we'll cover during this lecture. The first thing we'll do is look at a few important resources to make sure we get your Copilot set up if you haven't done so before. Then we'll do a quick recap on the three-step pattern, and then you'll practically apply the three-step pattern to generate a jest suite for process order items. I'll show you this code just now. Now, firstly, important resources. You'll find links to these resources in the resources section of this lecture. The first one there is one to make sure that you sign up to GitHub if you haven't done so yet, else you can log into your GitHub account. And the next one is to select a GitHub Copilot plan. You'll see that there are free and paid plans. And then if you haven't downloaded VS Code and you want to follow along exactly what I'm doing, you can go ahead and download VS Code and then also install the VS Code GitHub Copilot chat extension. If you're going to use IntelliJ IDEA, there's also a link for downloading IntelliJ, and then I've also provided a link to the GitHub Copilot chat plugin for JetBrains IDEs. Now let's do a quick recap on the three-step pattern. Step 1, context priming. This is when we give the AI everything it needs before generating anything. Now, this is typically when you add the files it should look at, specifically those files for which you want to create tests. And then step 2, I've previously called this inline generation, but you can also call it initial generation because this is really when you trigger the assistant to give you a first draft test suite. You can do it inline, but you don't have to do it inline. You can also use the chat interface, for example, to create your initial generation. And then step 3, chat refinement. This is when you iterate with follow-up prompts to improve the quality of your first draft test suite to a level that you are ultimately satisfied with. Now let's look at the function that we're going to generate tests for. It is called process order items and it has two parameters. An items parameter of type order item array, and then discount, which is of type discount, but this is an optional parameter. So if you don't pass it, it means there will be no discount applied to the order. And then ultimately it returns the process order object. You can download the demo code from the resources section of this lecture. Once you've downloaded the code, let's open it in our IDEs. In your IDE, go to section 3, lecture 13, start, and then open up process order items under source orders. And then if you scroll down to line 44, you'll see the process order items function. Now, you'll see that we have a description here and some rules that are being applied in this function. And if you scroll down, you'll see it's quite comprehensive. And this is deliberate because I didn't want to give you an example that is so trivial that it's hard for you to translate it to your production code. And let's go ahead and read the purpose and rules. So the purpose of this function is to process an array of order items applying an optional discount code. So there is the array of order items as mentioned, and then an optional discount code with the default value being null there. Now for the rules. First rule there is all item quantities must be greater or equal than 1, else throw an invalid quantity error. You'll see that we cater for that in this piece of the code. Second rule, if a discount code is provided and expired, throw the expired discount code error. Again, here we validate the discount code expiry. And then if a discount code has a minimum order value, the subtotal before discount must meet it, else throw the minimum order not met error. Here we cater for that. And then if a discount code has applicable categories, it only applies to items in those categories. And then here you'll see that we have the category matches, and then this part of the code cater for that. And then percentage discounts applied per qualifying item. For example, 10% off reduces the unit price by 10%. And fixed discounts are applied proportionally across qualifying items by their share of subtotal. And then prices are rounded to 2 decimal places. So if we scroll down here, you'll see that we are calculating the discount amount here. And then we also round it to 2 decimals everywhere, as you can see there. Here we calculate the discount total, and then in the end we'd return our process order object containing the items that were processed, the subtotal, the discount total, the total, and the discount code applied, if any. Okay, now that we know what the process order items function does, it's time to create tests for it. So step 1 is context priming. Here, we aren't going to generate the test yet. This is where we give the AI everything it needs, as discussed earlier. And here's an example of a good context priming prompt. I need you to read process order items and the order item and discount code types in order.ts, then generate. So the reason we're not adding the full generate prompt is because this step is all about priming the context. In step 2, we'll give it the actual test generation prompt. And you'll see I've written down here, you can also just open the files and the Copilot chat will allow you to add them to the chat context. And I'll show you how that works just now. By the way, I've also added a copy of the lecture slides to the resources section of this lecture. You're welcome to download it so that you can copy the prompts if you like. Now, if we go back to our IDEs and go to view and click on chat, this will open the Copilot chat window. You can also use the shortcut Ctrl+Alt+I. So now you'll actually see that I have the process order items file open, and I've got the option to just click on the plus and then it adds it to the chat context. And if we open up another file that we need, the order.ts file, you can add another. So this is the one way that you can prime the context, simply opening up the files and then adding them to the chat context. If you don't want to do that, you can also do it in another way. Now let's go ahead and copy our context priming prompt and then paste it into our chat there. It won't automatically pick it up because we'll have to select these files again. The first one, process order items. Make sure that you select the process order items under section 3, lecture 13. Now, there we go. Don't select that one because I think that one is a symbol, whereas this one under lecture 13 start is the one we're looking for. If it says hash file, then you know you've got the correct one. And then also select the order.ts file. Hash and then order.ts. And again, look for the lecture 13 start one. Now you've successfully primed your context. You'll see that it automatically added the process order items file in there and the order.ts file in there. So again, you can simply open up the files, click plus like we did, and then just type your generation prompt in step 2, or you can do it as follows: hash and then select the files. Now for step 2, initial generation. This is when you ask the AI agent to generate your initial test suite. The nice thing about GitHub Copilot is that it has a tests command specifically created for generating tests. So we're going to use that just now. So here is our initial test generation prompt. We start with /tests, that's how you invoke it. And then we give it the context priming part that we've already done. And then after the comma, our test generation prompt. So we're going to tell it to generate a complete Jest test suite for process order items, covering the happy path, edge cases including null and empty inputs, all error conditions defined in the function. Now, if we don't do this explicitly, it's probably only going to give us the happy path. And then I'm also telling it, don't just provide the code, create the actual test suite. Because I've noticed sometimes when you use the /tests command that it gives you the code and does not create the file. And then I'm also telling it to use Jest29 as the test framework and the arrange act assert pattern as our testing pattern. Now let's go ahead and copy everything after the comma. And then here in our IDEs, let's just say /tests. I didn't want to copy everything from scratch because else we'll lose our file selection there. And then take out then generate and paste it there. So invoking /tests, I need you to read process order items.ts and the order item and discount types in order.ts. Then generate a complete Jest test suite for process order items covering the happy path, edge cases including null and empty inputs, and all error conditions defined in the function. Don't just provide the code, create the actual test file. Use framework, Jest29, and arrange act assert. All right, if you've done that, you can send that off. And here you can see that it has now generated our initial test suite for us. And unfortunately, as suspected, it did not create the actual test file. So we've got a few options here. We can either type in the chat and ask it to create it, and I think that's what we're going to do, or we can apply it in the editor, insert it at the cursor, copy the code, or we can say insert into new file. Now, instead of us doing that, we can simply tell the agent, please create the actual test file now. And there it created the process order items test file under the tests and then the orders directory. And we can say keep. Let's spend a moment to go through the test that it created. So here we are setting things up. Then we've got tests for the happy path as instructed, returns correct results for single item with no discount code, applied percentage discount to all items, and every time you'll see arrange act assert. So it also follows the arrange act assert pattern as instructed. So here we arrange the variables, we invoke the actual function, and then under assert, we verify if we got the expected results. And then if we scroll down, you'll see the edge cases and then error conditions. And then we also have some rounding checks down here. So the next thing to do is to run our test suite. I'm going to open up my terminal and then go to section 3, lecture 13, start, and then tests. And then let's run npm test. And as you can see there, all 13 tests passed. You've now successfully generated your first draft test suite. Now for step 3 in the 3-step pattern, chat refinement. This is all about providing the AI coding assistant with follow-up prompts to improve our first draft test suite. In order for us to find these improvements, we need to go ahead and look at the test cases in our process order items test file. I'm just going to close the chat window for now, as well as the terminal. Now, as we go through our generated tests, there's something that catches my eye. You'll see that here we expect the subtotal to be close to 50, but 50 in fact is an exact number there. So we don't need to use to be close to. So let's quickly go back to our slides, and then I've got a prompt for us prepared that we can use in our chat refinement. So step 3, chat refinement. So after reviewing the initial suite, type a refinement prompt. So here we're saying refine this test suite's assertion for precision. Replace to be close to with to be wherever the expected value is exact. Keep to be close to only where floating point math truly needs tolerance. Don't change any test cases, just tighten the matches. So I'm going to copy this prompt here, and then let's open our chat again, and then I'm simply going to paste it there. Okay, so as you can see, it is busy updating the to be close to be everywhere so that we improve the precision. Okay, so now it says it's updated the test file, now uses strict to be where values are exact, kept to be close to for true floating point rounding checks. So let's say keep, and then let's just go through the file again, and we'll see to be, and we can actually search for to be close to see if we still have to be close to. Right. So down here, we actually have round discount and totals to 2 decimals. And here we have floating point values, and it makes sense to keep those as to be close to. So this was just a simple example of how you can improve your initial draft test suite through chat refinement with follow-up prompts. GitHub Copilot also supports the ability to generate test cases through comments. So here, for targeted edge cases without opening the chat, we can simply type the following comment. So test discount code whose applicable categories match none of the items. Nothing should be discounted, but the code is still recorded as supplied. So this is a missing test case that I've identified. So let's copy that. So let's scroll up, and then under edge cases, we can ask it to add a new test case just by using the comments. So paste your comments there, and then you'll see that GitHub Copilot is already trying to add this new test case. So here we can simply hold Control and press the right arrow, and as we go, it'll actually start adding the test case. So it has just added the first line, and as we go to the next, it actually auto completes. So I'm just hitting the tab key, and there we have our new test case. So without us typing a line of code ourselves, GitHub Copilot can actually do it from just our comments. So now we have another test case. Does not apply discount when applicable categories do not match any items. Let's open up our terminals, and then we can run our test suite again. And this will basically test our change from to be close to be, and also our new added test case. And here you can see that all 14 tests now pass. And this is our new one. Does not apply discount when applicable categories do not match any items. So now you've learned how to practically apply the 3-step pattern to generate tests with Copilot. In the next lecture, we'll look at how we can make test workflows reusable with Copilot.